What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So let's talk about the iPhone 13 Pro Max. You know, Apple just released the new lineup of iPhones, and I've been using the new Pro Max for a while. Now, I have to say, there are many new features that came with this new release, but in order to talk about it and to show you the new features, we will need to go outside. So, if you look at the design, as you can see, it's pretty much the same as the last year, with only small visual differences. 3 actually. First is the weight, and that's given the battery increasing capacity. So this new iPhone weighs 238 grams, while the previous generation was around 228. To be honest, it's not a huge difference. Second change is on the camera module, which is quite big in comparison to the previous generation. And finally, the notch, which is 20% smaller. And that leads us to talk about the screen. The iPhone 13 Pro Max of course has this huge 6.7-inch screen. And there are 2 major important updates this year. One being the level of brightness outside. As you can see, the screen is totally visible outside. This is because Apple increased the max brightness to 1000 nits, when compared to 800 nits from the previous generation. While the previous generation was pretty bright already, this one takes it to the next level. Now, another huge improvement is on the screen refresh rate, which doubled in comparison to the previous generation. With this new iPhone, we finally got the ProMotion display, which is basically 120 Hz refresh rate. Let me explain. Refresh rate measures how often the screen refreshes with content. So having it bumped up to 120 Hz, it means much more smooth scrolling and much more smooth animations as well. Well, in reality, will this be noticeable to you? I would say that you will not feel a huge difference straight away. And I think this is the type of thing that you would really feel the difference after using it for a while and then moving back to using a 6 Hz screen iPhone. That's where you will really notice the difference. Moving on to the cameras. Now let's take some pictures and let's see how it looks like. The wide lens has a 1.5 aperture and also a bigger sensor. And all of that's supposed to help with low light pictures. The ultra wide lens also has improvements with the aperture, being this lens now down to 1.8 in comparison to 2.8 from the previous generation. This is really handy as the iPhone was not best performer in the low light, especially with the ultra wide lens. As for the telephoto, the improvements are on the range, which is now 3 times zoom in comparison to 2.5 times from the previous year. So, a new addition to the camera app is the capability of selecting different picture styles. You have between standard, rich contrast, in my case I have customized it to vibrant warm, you have also vibrant, warm and cool. All of these modes changes many aspects of the pictures. And differently from the filters, which applies to the whole image, the picture styles apply only to specific parts, and especially protecting the skin tones. Before we go to search for a good place for low light pictures, let's take advantage of the natural light and have a quick look at the cinematic mode. Alright guys, so this is the test of the cinematic mode. So at the top I have the iPhone and at the bottom I have the camera. So let's see if we can spot any difference. As you can see, the cinematic mode is like portrait mode but for video, which is basically providing a shallow depth of field for videos as well. And all that means a blurry background. The only giveaway that it has been shot on an iPhone is the area close to the hair. As you can see, it's not so perfect. Now, time to have a look at some low light pictures. see, the iPhone has great improvements in the camera department this year. However, looking to the low-light pictures, although they look good, there is still some room for improvements, especially with the ultra-wide lens. As you can see in this picture, it falls apart close to the edges. Alright guys, so now that we're finally back at home, let's talk about the battery. I just came out of a 3 days usage with only one charge. With the first charge started on Wednesday, when I charged it up to 90%, and the battery lasts until this Friday. But as you can see, I still had 20% of battery left by Friday, with more than 6 hours screen on time. That is massive! So kudos for Apple for increasing the battery size this year and making it even better. Now there is a caveat. Although the battery is pretty impressive, there is no fast charging in this phone, and even with the iPad charger, it takes a while to charge it fully. The good part is that once the battery is fully charged, wow, this thing can last for ages. So here are my thoughts about the iPhone 13 Pro Max. The huge improvement this year are with the screen, the battery and the cameras. And honestly, having the ProMotion display, it's amazing. Also having such massive battery life, which lasts from 2 to 3 days, it's incredible. So as for the cameras, I think that Apple is driving to the right direction, pushing hard the envelope for the computational photography and now even computational videography. The added features this year feels like early iterations still, like there is still plenty of room for improvement. And for sure, we will see much more improvements in this area in the upcoming iPhones. So guys, that's been it. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, give a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned and I see you in the next one. So